Hello, everybody, and welcome to Voyages of Dusk and Dawn. How are my three favorite players doing today?
Spiffing.
Fantastic.
Great. Too bad it's not our four favorite players.
No, it's just the three of them. There was another one, but you know, he's dead now. So what do we even care? I can't even say it with a straight face. All right, party. We are we just lost a player. We were attacked by giants who, you know, may have thought you were invading their homeland, maybe not. Doesn't really matter. You sacrificed Ewan and everyone else got away, and I think you have dragged Gary Two Machetes back out of the forest and out to Port Julia, where you can rest and recuperate and make plans.
Yeah. The way I was thinking is we will rest until he's well, but also we'll wander around town and see when the next expected patrol up to Mount Solstice is. And then we can play our nice little safe merchanty roles as just tourists going to Mount Solstice, like I thought we were the first time.
All right. Well, you need to regain 31 hit points at a rate of 3 a day. Is going to be about 10 days. Resting up. Okay.
Sounds about right.
October, November. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of rest. During these 10 days of rest, a new payment period comes along. Please pay out to your hirelings 100 gold each.
Yep, you guys get 100 gold each. I'm putting a negative 200 on the ship.
Thank you, Captain. Or actually, I take
you very
90 because
much.
you're teaching me to read.
Cool. I'll put a
It's a
negative
shame you
190
wouldn't-
on the ship.
Isn't here to get his pay.
You should probably buy a drink for us. Around for the party.
Good idea.
Who's buying this round for the party, and what has the party done to deserve anything other than get wounded and cause, multi-week delays?
We lost a dear, dear friend, and now we have to just reminisce and, overcome.
Tell me one thing about this dear, dear friend that you've lost, other than their
He was
name and their
almost
weapons. Armor.
as
He
good
was
a
all about the
fisherman as
box.
me.
It's true. That's true. He did a great job of protecting that box. What were you going to say, Gary?
He was almost as good a fisherman as me.
Wow, that's what you have to say about the recently deceased.
And he was a really good sailor, but also not quite as good as me.
Wow. Wow. All right. Well, 2 weeks pass. The comets hang in the sky. As the sky turns, the comets rotate in and out. They seem to be getting larger and larger. It's been 12 days since they've appeared. And the talk of the town is, what are the comets? Who are the comets? Why are they here? What's going on? Is this related to the big war that's happening? Is this related to something else that's been going on? Maybe this has to do with the war that just happened in Arcadia. Maybe it's completely unrelated to any events we know about. Maybe these comets are all about something that's happening on the other side of the world. Maybe these comets are about some other continent somewhere else, and we don't have to worry about them whatsoever. A lot of speculation. Rampant speculation. Especially, are the comets going to land in the center of the Dardanelles in that great whirlpool and endless maelstrom that exists here? Is that where they're coming? Seems a little far-fetched to me as a objective outside viewer, but, yeah. Anyway, 10 days pass. The party is up,
Something like
healthy,
it.
and ready to
10
go.
days possibly don't pass in the case that there is a patrol going from Port Juliet to Mount Solstice. I try to figure out like how frequent these things are, and we try to tag along as long as we're not grievously wounded at the time.
Okay. Let me roll my handy dandy calculation die. Yes, it's after 5 days when Gary Two Machetes has regained 15 HP and is sitting at 8 hit points. That a small resupply train, a couple of mules, a little cart, and a group of maybe 20 armed soldiers, mostly, peasants with spears, but a couple of solid knights are heading out to the mountain. And if you ask if you'd like to go, the knights leading this little party, they're gonna have a couple questions for you. First question is, what's your business in the mountain?
We're humble Arcadian travelers, and we want to witness the great view from the mountain. But don't worry, I have 2 great guards here who will be able to pull their weight. Look at Gary Two Machetes. He bravely fought a giant.
And lost.
Yeah. Why don't you throw me a quick charisma check here, Captain Mapper?
Sure. There. I also look to see if they have a cleric who might be able to heal. Slash paladin.
There's no cleric in this troop, and you've gotten the impression... Ooh, 19 on the charisma check. Not very good. You've gotten the impression that the clerics that are stationed here in Port Julia are not here for the general good of the world. They're here for very specific purposes, and their spells are not being handed out freely. They are focused on other tasks. So with your 19 on your charisma check, the knights will tell you that if you would like to tag along, you're Drakissians, you're Arcadians at the very least, you're more than welcome to tag along. The mountain, you're free to explore. They'll even, let you up and through some of these tunnels and whatnot. But there are some areas in the mountain that they are heading that are, exclusively reserved for research purposes, for the academic arm of the Arcadian Navy.
Okay, well, I have some interest in academia, and maybe I could help.
Well, you'll have to take that up with the academics, the scholars, just warning you that if there's, something in particular you're looking for that, it might be restricted. They're just trying to, give you a nice rebuffing and let you, set expectations nice and low.
Sure, we appreciate it.
Yeah, if you want to go, they're not going to stop you. So 5 days later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as Ephra is setting, party goes back to Mount Solstice. Okay. Excellent. With your guards in tow, it is a relatively simple journey. You will pass the site of Dead Edgard. Dead Ewan. You will not see any giants. They might still be on this path like they were last time, waiting to ambush someone, but the sheer number of people coming through wards them off if they're here whatsoever. We will pass through the jungles, make it to the mountain. Now, when we get to the base of the mountain, there is a path, a fairly clear path that looks like it's been recently trimmed, that begins to proceed around the outside of the mountain and climb up it. It is up this trail that the knights and soldiers and mules are going. Is this where you would like to go to, up the trail, or did you want to like search the base of the mountain for something else? I seem to recall some talk of
Up the trail
searching.
sounds right. I think the goal is to stand in places where I saw visions on top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm. All right. Up the mountain. Gonna roll some dice. Yeah, the mountain journey starts off nice and warm and easy, but you soon ascend beyond the realms of the trees and out into the open, rocky, rough sides of the mountain. There's a little bit of grasses here and there, some low-lying shrubs, but the trees either cannot or will not grow up here for some reason. It's going to be a multi-day journey from Port Julia to the entry point in the mountain. Take you 2 days, at least. Is there anything you'd like to ask of each other or of the knights and guards that you're coming with on this journey? You don't have to. You can just sort of travel alongside of them as long as you bring your own food. If you have any information you'd like from these people.
I think I'll generally, cheerfully make small talk with them to just show off my charismatic side, find out bits and pieces, nothing specific about Mount Solstice.
Okay. Yeah. Well, apparently, I think you've heard this story before, but I'm going to reiterate because that's what the talk of the people are outside of gods and comets in the sky. The talk is about the Vosi fleet and how the Drakissians have sort of been chasing them along the line of travel. And right now, no one's in contact with them. They're both somewhere out there. And the idea is the Vosi fleet is expected to return this way and maybe be caught between the people chasing them and the people here waiting for them. And if we can sufficiently crush the existing vessels, we can reclaim the Dardens for our own. You'll also hear that some of these islands have Vosi outposts still on them, like little garrisons placed on this island or that island that are managing to hold on. And so far, the Drakissian fleet has been content to ignore them. If there's an outpost of, 500 goblins and orcs that is holding one of these islands, but we don't need that island for any purposes right now. There's no reason to waste lives or material or spells in assaulting these places. The Drakissians are really just concerned about dealing with the boats. And if there's people on islands, well, we'll come back and deal with them whenever it is that we actually need to do that. And that seems to be the going strategy. They'll let you know that many of these islands, not all of them, not even most of them, but many of them have outposts, little forts or sort of guerrilla-style warriors of goblins or orcish descent hanging out on them. And they're quite, they're not all that safe to visit right now. And I think that's what you'll get with just some generalized small talk.
Cool. I'll affirm about how we've visited a few and found much the same.
Other players?
I think Gary's just in a bad mood. Quiet and grumpy and complaining about his injuries.
I ask if anyone has a hammer and a nail to put a hole in a gold coin. Or do I have to wait till I go to a blacksmith?
You want a hammer and a nail to put a hole in a coin?
Unless somebody has a better idea, but I want to put a hole in a gold coin.
One of these people will have a tent stake that you can borrow and a hammer, and you can try and punch a little hole. It'll split the metal out a little bit. It won't be a nice perfect round hole. You'd need a proper smith for that. But if you just need to poke something through, the metal will split out on the backside. You can totally do that.
I'll wait till I get to a smith.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I'm realizing now that the overlays have the wrong characters on them. I will try and fix that right now. If you're watching and you don't know why Vaya is Ewan, then that's why. We'll fix.
Trying a new thing where I play 2 characters. It's really a lot, but I was in 7th grade acting class, so.
It's pretty easy to play as Ewan right now.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Well, 2 days pass. We ascend the mountain and come into this nice big archway with a set of double doors, or what should be double doors on them, but they're clearly gone. The archway itself is quite old and ruined. Few carvings are left visible in it, but it's wide, maybe 10 feet wide, 12 feet tall, and it goes into this deep underground sort of fortress of some kind. There are torches that light the way. And far at one end of this hallway, it'll split into the deep interior and into this other archway that should have doors but doesn't have them right now, that also has a view out the mountain. And this will trigger that memory you had of standing up in the mountain looking out over everything. The island's a little bit altered from its original point of view, but it's the same spot. This is where that memory of people standing in here looking out was. Also in here are some other guards that are just like patrolling the area, keeping the academics in this area safe, and a group of 3 wizards who are, at the moment that you arrive in the afternoon, sitting down and sipping some tea while an unseen servant brings a broom about the room, dusting and sweeping up this, that, and the other thing. This big room you're in is open to the outside with this like long open, I would call it a window, but there's nothing to guard against the wind. And so there's just a nice breeze blowing past these wizards sitting in their chairs.
Ah, such great civilization. All hail Drakus. Yeah, I just pretty much go out to the balcony and enjoy the view. Like many before me have.
Mm-hmm.
And as I gaze across the land, I see if it sounds like it didn't trigger anything else.
Well, there's the one recorded memory where you were up here thinking to yourself, talking out loud about how, what did it say? Let's see, the first memory was the top of the mountain is floated, lifted. Second is the mountains crashing towards the sea. Third was walking into the island from the docks. The fourth is atop the mountain. Today is the start of a new era. Soon all 9 towers will come back into line. I know who holds the key to the fortress, and I know where to find them. Yes, that's the primary memory that you're getting up here. And surprisingly, I think there are no other ones. There's no new anything being triggered up here. But as you stand up here, hands on the balcony rail looking out, you do have to clasp your memory stone. As you turn back to everybody else, one of the wizards here, a young woman in red robes, will look at you and say, "Excuse me, traveler who's staying in our mountain, what is that around your neck?"
Oh God. Let's see. This is a precious memento stone. It's dear to me.
A memento stone?
Yes, it reminds me of It's been handed down a very long time.
That looks a lot like an artifact I've been reading about recently. How long of a time?
I don't know. It's been lost with history. I just remember that it's been handed down across generations, so could be quite old.
She gets up from her chair, sets her tea and little teacup down on a stool, and walks a little closer to you. There is an old story that I've been reading about the wizards who created this. This same building that we're standing in right now within the mountain was carved out by someone who made a series of stones like that could be used to hold memories that could then be passed down from master to student to student to student. Is that what you have?
No, couldn't possibly be that. This is just a trinket.
I see. It's non-magical in nature.
No, have you found any of these stones?
I have not. But one of the things we found here, and then she pauses and she looks back to the other wizards who are sitting. One of them, quickly starts taking a sip of their tea so they don't have to say anything. Another looks away like they're not paying attention. And the last one sitting over there takes a hesitation, looks you up and down, and give me another charisma check here, Vincent.
Yep.
Are you trustworthy through a glance? And gives a slow nod of approval. And the woman next to you says, "My name is Sabrina Saildar. I'm one of the academics here, searching for lost relics and trying to piece together I'm here on an educational purpose on behalf of Empress Wick. Would you mind if I borrowed that necklace for just a moment? I would like to cast a spell on it, a detect magic spell, if that's okay with you."
That's actually against our religion. I'm so sorry.
And what religion would that be?
Followers of Loomis.
Loomis, the sun god? It's against his ethos to shine the light of truth on things?
At such a high altitude, it seems dangerous.
Sabrina, I lower my voice. Can I talk to you in private?
Of course, she says. "Please, right this way." And she will lead you out of this grand chamber into one of those deeper chambers within the mountain that has no sunlight, that is just lit by lanterns and torches. You'll see some makeshift beds have been assembled here, just some big sacks with straw stuffed in them, slightly lifted off the ground by rough-hewn lumber. There's a couple of guards in here in one of these rooms, and she, shoos them out. There's still no doors anywhere in here, so she keeps her voice quiet and stands on the far side of the room from where people might be listening. And says, what was your name, sir?"
I am Vincent Mapper, and you are quite an insightful person. I did not know that anyone would recognize this memory stone.
If it wasn't for the records that we found in this mountain, I wouldn't have known.
Well, you have stumbled upon the secret mission that I have been given from the Empire to investigate this area. So I am very happy to work with you, and you seem like a trustworthy person. I will allow you to investigate the memory stone, but of course it must be kept under the safest of conditions. I would advise not spreading the secret among your other companions.
Of course. She pauses and then holds out a hand for you to hand it over.
I will kind of do a gauge of her trustworthiness, like that wizard did to me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just doing opposed charisma checks here with a couple of complicated tables to determine truth. So give me yet another charisma check. Clearly the most important stat any character could have.
Yeah, sure.
You... Yeah, you think that she is trustworthy, that she's telling you the truth, that she's not going to steal this and kill you in your sleep. She appears honest and genuine and curious.
Yeah, as I reach to take the necklace off of my neck, I will give her a very stern warning of, you're going to want to sit down for this. Whenever someone acquires this memory stone for a time, some very vivid memories rush into them. This may be very unpleasant.
Okay. She'll sit down on one of these beds, take the stone. You can see her eyes begin to roll back in her head as she's flooded with memories of people, holding the stone for the first time and trying to instill their first memories into it. There's dozens, maybe hundreds of these. You've spent some time with them, and now she sort of floats through them in real time, which is quite boring from the outside to watch because she's just like holding a rock and looking up, and it's gonna be a little while. Eventually, she comes out of the memory cycling and places the stone down very gently on the bed and stands up and kind of steps away from it and says, oh my word, that is something. You said you're here on behalf of the Empress herself.
Yes.
It sounds like you are on a similar journey to us.
Yes, ours is a bit more wide-reaching, where you may be specifically assigned to this area. I ask inquisitively to see if she nods.
She does. Mm-hmm.
We are more of searching around all of the islands. But we are happy to lend a hand here. The stone helps us to find out parts of history. So perhaps we could be let in to look around.
I have something I need to show you then.
Ah, very good.
Your companions, your traveling companions, are they they're aware of what you're doing?
Yes.
Should I bring them along, or is this for your eyes only?
Oh, bring them along.
She'll go back in the other room, grab your traveling companions, and take you all deeper into the mountain, where you will see a table laid out with a map that looks like this. A map that you have seen before, I believe, right? This isn't a new map to you.
Right.
She'll point to this map and say, This is a map of the Dardanelles. We are right here. And she'll point to the dot to the right of the pale pink dot on the top, or the tan dot. Each of these dots represents an island. The island to our left is the Deadlands, a horrible wasteland where nothing lives, destroyed long ago by an evil man. The red dots are
yes,
anchor
we're familiar
points.
with it. I'll interrupt. We just came from that island. I'll just go ahead and be very honest with her.
You did?
Yeah.
Was there anything there? We sailed past it and it looked like a wasteland.
Yeah, there's a defender there. Very magical island. We barely made it out alive.
I'll have some more questions about that later. The red dots here we've managed to work out are these not anchor points. Those are something else. They inertial actuators. A failed attempt by the Archmage Ferris to undo the cyclone at the center of the Dardanelles. Within this mountain, she kind of points further back into like the shadowy, unlit sections of this room that just sort of extend. Further back in here, we found some carvings that suggest he attempted to stop the whirlpool and stop the maelstrom and bring peace to these areas, but it all fell apart. It's unclear why, but each of these 4 red points was a part of a grander mechanism that spanned 1,000 miles that was attempting to undo the maelstrom. Or perhaps it did succeed, but the southern 2 of these red islands have been destroyed. One of them is completely missing. The other is just a few tiny rocks that jut out of the ground. The red one near us is Port Ferris, and the one on the right side is standing, but it looks like it's been laid waste to. Like many of these outer islands, it's damaged, deserted. Not as bad as the Deadlands, but quite far gone. The southern dot, the southern pale dot, seems to be an old outpost of some kind, an old armory or something. It's currently host to a great number of Vosi goblins and orcs and giants and monsters. We will clear it when we get the opportunity, but for now it is unapproachable. And the green dots on the inner islands are centers of education and learning. I think they represent the old cities that used to be here.
Well, that is some good information. I think back to where we visited the actuator in the Port Ferris area. Did that actuator appear to be in... I think it seems to be about in the same shape as that northeast one, like damaged.
The one that you saw in Port Ferris was just like a rock. It was like a mountainside, and that was it. It didn't seem like it just looked like a mountain. Who knows if that's the intended shape or a broken shape? Maybe that's damaged and destroyed. Maybe there was something on there that's been since removed. Maybe the mountain itself is the actuator. I don't think we know for certain what the deal is.
I'll just communicate with her then to try to bounce off an idea and to dig into if she's got knowledge of it. We were there in Port Ferris, observing this. There were some ruins there. There was potential an actuator. We didn't even know what we were looking for. Is the actuator in the northwest in good shape?
I've been looking into that. It appears that the actuator here is a mountain, a rock itself, and within that rock are core. Oh, how do you call this? You ever bored a hole through a piece of wood to join it with another? Similar holes have been bored through that mountainside, and silver has been poured in them, creating long cores of silver that run deep into the earth. I think it is the connection of these cores in this place that is the actuator itself. This one appears to have been tied to the element of earth. I think on the far side, the ruined island was the element of air, and I don't know the other two, whether they were fire or water, but they should be on opposed ends as well. That's all I've been able to make of it.
Okay. Consider what she said. Let's see. I was just typing out fire southeast or...
No. Air is southeast, yeah. And then either fire or water is the remaining northeast and southwest.
Oh, very good. That makes sense. such incredible machinations from centuries ago that they were trying to do here.
There appears to have been a lot of experimentation done. There's writings about magic anchors, but the magic here is that it doesn't translate well into the modern language. These are not like ship's anchors that are magical. Magic is not the descriptor of the anchor. Magic is part of the noun. It is an anchor for and of and by magic. An anchor that anchors magic. I still don't know what that means to anchor magic in a place. Unfortunately,
Afraid neither do I.
No surviving texts have been found that say what this was for. There's only records that of them being created, carved into walls here.
Well, this is fascinating. Did you have some great finding here? I sound really interested in what she was going to show.
Some great finding?
Yeah, an object?
No, we've not. The two pale dots on this map that I was showing you are supposedly old armories, old points where consumables and tools were left for future needs. Clearly, one of them is the wasteland that we now know as the Deadlands. I haven't seen the other one yet. It's been too far out of reach to explore. Can you tell me a little more about the object of your mission?
It's simply to visit all of these areas and try to uncover the purpose of these. I see you've made a lot of progress with that. I'm impressed. I will have to put in a good word for you, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Captain, I was just... Remember the other thing we found?
Yes.
At Port Ferris. I don't know if you want to bring it up.
Sabrina's a good person. Let's tell her all about it, Gary.
Well, opposite Port Ferris, to the east, there's a mountain sticking out of the water.
An
Are
island,
you aware
you
of
mean?
it? A mountainous island. It's almost untraversable. Maybe if you had the right gear, you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
On the north of that island, I believe it was the north, there's a small bay which you could sail a boat right up to. Not a big boat, but a small boat could make it fine. That's actually the entrance to some sort of arcane fortress.
Mm-hmm. She nods as if this is like normal things that people talk about every day.
And we discovered it, and sounds like it might be up your alley, and we don't have the time to investigate it. But perhaps you do.
How did you find such a thing? No, none of the locals seem to know anything about lost treasures in this area.
Point it.
Yeah,
Vincent.
I'll be very straightforward and say that's the power of the memory stone. Why we were dispatched here, by visiting these locations where memories of previous holders of it, where we may be able to discern secret locations or items around the area.
Can I borrow the stone to find the way in? Is the entrance a place that you can tell me? How do I get there?
Oh yeah, we can just tell you all about it. Might serve as a nice Drakissian naval base. There's a inland port into it. I'll jot down the details.
You tell her how to get access and everything?
Yeah.
All right.
Your wizards may find it interesting. There's some ancient magics written there. I'll tell her about the spells that you could learn there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you make note of the spells? You didn't write down what they were, did you?
Let's see. Did I am going off of memory that one of them was some sort of locate object.
Mm-hmm.
Ancient locate object.
Beacon or something.
Yeah. Oh, where you could put some mark on an object and then you could locate it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you talked to her about these things. I didn't remember if you remembered what they were or not. She thanks you for this knowledge. She would love to see a secret hidden fortress. In fact, one of the things that she's ultimately looking for is is information about Ferris's floating fortress that he used to conquer much of the world. Or explore much of the world. Might be the right way of saying that. Have you found anything about this?
Oh, did it used to float? I wasn't sure about that, but it seems like it could be. It has a lot of fancy things, such as walls that you can see out of. Seemed very protective, and you could pass through the walls from the inside, but not go in from the outside.
Interesting.
Seems exactly the type of things that a floating fortress would be useful for.
Yeah. This fills her with like excitement and giddiness. Yeah. So thank you very much for your help and ask if there's anything else she can do for you.
Could you show me around the complex? There might be something that stirs through the memory. Very powerful wizards who wore this stone and made memories of it used to wander these halls.
Yes, she will. I think we're going to take a short break here while you and Sabrina explore this mountain. And when we're back from our break, we'll just do a quick summary of the things you can find, maybe throw in a couple of die rolls if there's levels of knowledge. And then we'll take it from there. So catch you on the other side of our break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Voyages of Dusk and Dawn. Hirelings, henchmen, are you literate, either of you?
Nope.
Excellent.
I'm learning.
Excellent. Fantastic. Vincent is going to be doing some reading and researching. Vincent, do you have comprehend languages as a spell?
Checking. I did prepare tongues today, but let me check about... Does tongues work?
That's a great question. Speak and understand additional languages. No, this is just speaking. Comprehend languages is a little special because it allows you to read things written in different languages, but tongues gives you better communications. All right, that's fine. You don't have comprehend languages. You're going to have to be in... Well, you already trust these people. You don't mind having to go through them as like an intermediary to read ancient texts, right? You're not trying to hide anything.
Yep. I'll be as shameless to ask for casting of comprehend languages as well, and in the case that they don't, we do have scrolls of it.
Ah, I see. Did they survive? I remember some of your scrolls were damaged recently.
Some of them broke, but I didn't pack all of them.
Okay. Do you know which ones were destroyed?
I do.
Have we marked them off of their appropriate sheets?
I sure did.
Excellent. You're speaking my language. Perfect. Excellent. So you're going to be here for a little while because she's got stuff to show you. And the question is, how much time are you willing to dedicate being here in this mountain with these wizards? Because you could spend, easily a couple of days or a week or more in here if you wanted to.
I think that's a based off of what we learn on one day here thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But in general, are these like a collection of works that were here already?
Yeah, there are writings to be found here and stories to swap with the other academics because no one person can know everything. So at some point, as they're showing you around, there's some writings on the walls that are written in this ancient language that you can't read, but she says she's read comprehend languages on it, and she's got a little translation that is written down, and it talks about Lantia, and why it's an example of the need for magic anchors. And you don't really know anything about Lantia. It's, like a place of old, like Upper Egypt or Acadia or ancient Persia. Like, it's an old place that existed in legend and, it's around. And you don't really understand why Lantia is an example of the need for magic anchor, but when you talk to, what was her name, Sabrina, she'll explain that, like, well, my understanding, what I was taught, is that Lantia was ruined by the Lich Drexel, not that it was an example of the need for some sort of anchor, unless some sort of anchor would stop a Lich. And, there's a philosophical conversation to be had here with her. There's also some early writings that are found about the 2 failed attempts and 1 successful attempt to create a floating tower. So based on like that sort of conversation, would you want to stick around? Or is this like just old histories?
I think this is really interesting. I've learned a ton of lore, and we'll keep doing it. I'll exercise a give and take, a generous give and take with these wizards, especially Sabrina, and mention something about if they were aware that there was an attempt at a floating tower here, and then it broke off into the ocean.
Yes, they have some documentation here, some old writings that are carved into walls that say that there were 2 failed attempts and 1 successful attempt. And when you share that you've seen the failed attempt, they meticulously take notes, and you can revisit that memory as many times as you would like to get all the details written down. It appears that the first successful, what they call floating tower, was created from an island on the southern side of the Outer Rim. There was a failed attempt here on Summerland, and a failed attempt on something from the Inner Ring.
Okay. I'll casually ask Sabrina, and I'll also look up some lore about what 9 towers could mean in respect to these islands.
Oh, well, the 9 towers of high wizardry that are... How do you not know about this, they say? And they proceed to tell you that once upon a time, 3,000 years ago, there were 9 great towers that were used as like a staple of education that allowed people to travel between towers instantly without any fear of danger or any loss of time. Just step through a doorway from one tower to another on the other side of the world. And that these were built as schools that allowed for the education of the masses, and all of the great research that was done during the Age of Might and during the Age of Heroes was recorded and preserved in these towers for all time. But at the beginning of this last age, most of them were destroyed or ruined or otherwise lost. And really only the locations of a few are known. There's one that sits at the heart of the Vosi Empire in the city of Valesburg. It is a cursed and, horrifying tower with a radius of fear that emanates from it. And so it's not exactly accessible, even if that were a safe place to be, cursed towers and all. That there is the floating airship, which is not a floating tower, but it is one of the 9 towers is an airship. But it's really just like a floating boat with extra dimensional space inside, guarded by 3 wraiths and 9 specters or something like that, as the legend goes. Accessible to anyone who can find it and who does not break the rules of it. It flies over the world and changes locations constantly, but if you know how to find it, you're welcome to get there. What other towers do they know about? I don't think they know the locations of the others. Some locations were lost. Some towers are known to have existed and been destroyed. There's one that was underwater that's pretty clearly destroyed. There's one that was in what is now Drekis, but like Drekis was horribly ruined at the start of this last age, and it was built in a volcano, and that volcano doesn't exist anymore, so the tower is clearly destroyed as well. But these 9 towers formed the heart of the ancient Farron Empire. And really only 2 locations are known to exist, and at least 2 are known to be destroyed, which leaves 5 that are up in the air.
Oh, interesting. So that means they are in agreement that all 9 towers originally originated from the Dardennes.
That's a great question. They don't necessarily agree. One was built in a volcano in what is now Drekis. So does that originate from the Dardennes? What they do find...
The Farron Empire was way more far-reaching than the Dardennes, then.
Yes. It expanded all the way to Arcadia. It expanded to the coast of Solemn. It went into the South Seas. It covered a huge area.
Okay.
But what they do find here is evidence that it started in the Dardennes. The Dardennes is where the Empire came from, where it originated, where it was built out of. Yes. You'll also, in the course of many days talking with them, learn that the memory stone you carry contains within it a small fragment of the staff that supports the world. A philosopher's stone is a chip off of that staff, and it is like raw, compressed magic. If ever you needed some massive way to amplify your spell, like if you needed to cast your spell at 10 levels higher or something, something ridiculous, you could carefully break open and destroy this memory stone and find the philosopher's stone within it. And that's just like a catalyst. They are exceedingly rare. They're very volatile. It's been said that you can use them to empower your spells, but also that if you do it wrong, like you will probably be overtaken by it. Like if you try to cast a bigger fireball through it, you might cast a fireball many miles in diameter and destroy yourself. So, raw compressed hyper magic, and a small version of this supposedly sits within each memory stone, including the one you have.
Ooh.
This is just your friendly DM warning that, playing with them is dangerous. I think you guys had a chip of one in Light of Illumis that you played with Jen and Ryan and Anna? Who was the other person in Light of Illumis? I can't remember. I don't remember. But you had a small Philosopher's Stone shard there. And what else do you get? The first floating fortress, the first floating tower was successfully from here. Lantia is an example of why we need magic anchors. It has been ruined. It was ruined by the lack of these. But this contradicts lore about it being ruined by Drexel, the ancient list. Let's see. The Dardennes is the start of the Farron Empire. Your memory stone contains a small fragment of the Philosopher's Stone. And this map, which we looked at earlier, but I'm going to put up again. shows the location of these inertial actuators, but 2 of them are ruined. One of them has been found and you looked at and looked kind of boring. One is in a deserted wasteland of a place. And the 2 pink dots, pale dots, tan dots, are old armories, one of which you visited, which is the Deadlands. The other you haven't been to, but supposedly has monsters on it. And yeah, I think that's everything I can give you for free after 5 days of chatting with these people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Cool. I think we plan to visit both of these anyways, but I'll just ask, is the other actuator on the Rocky Islands, the Hookfin Islands, or somewhere else?
2 islands before the Rocky Islands. Yes. If we look at the map, you don't have a map of what that looks like yet. It should be, yeah, this one.
Okay.
Every 15 islands should be an inertial actuator, because there are 60 islands on the outer rim, and so it's every 15, every quarter of the way through there was an actuator, and they're supposed to correspond to different elemental planes.
Neat. I'll mention that the Memory Stone has hinted that there may be things to discover on the Alba Islands, the Rocky Islands, and the Hookfin Islands, and I'll ask if they know of anything interesting on those islands.
Yeah, they've been to the Alba Islands before. There's some sort of evil presence on Alba Island. There were some Vosi warriors there, but not many. And when some of the Knights of Drekis went into the mountains of the Alba Island, they didn't come back for a little while. And when they did, only a few came back, and no one had any memory of what they did inside the mountains. They were just like exhausted and wounded coming out and didn't remember anything. And the locals there mentioned that the Empire of Vosi also showed up, hung around for a little bit, and then just got out of town and left. This is an open mystery, and someone one day should do something about it, but, it doesn't seem to be germane to the war that's happening, and so the fleet of Drekis doesn't care. But there's something that is stealing people's memories up there. And, no one can really remember what the interior of that island is like.
Okay. I'll ask about how we're basically traveling clockwise. And looking at their map, I wonder if they have any interesting tidbits about the next 4 islands clockwise from here.
Yeah, they do. So Kolrogia is the next island. It seems to be, by all accounts, a relatively gentle and peaceful place with lots of farmland and a nice little gentle mountain range. The far side of the mountain range is sort of a desert and there's nothing going on there. But the close side of the mountain range has like salt flats and little bays, and there's a lot of halflings on the island. And it's actually a fairly nice and peaceful place. The Channel Islands are the next one over, because there's channels that run through them. They're fairly mountainous with some small villages scattered around, some decent agriculture and fishing, but there's not much happening there. They're just sort of pleasant little scattered islands. Bitter Water is like an atoll. There's really not much happening on the atoll. Apparently there are no towns to speak of. And the water that you can find there is bitter and not suited for resupplying your ships. Oh no, what have I done? There we go. Is there anything else I have to tell you about Bitter Water? Nope. There's 3 islands: Moonlight, Tannin, and Starlight Island. That's all. Nightcrawler Island doesn't have much in the way of civilization. There's like one town that's halfway between Nightcrawler and Alba Island. that has a little dock on it. It's hard to get to the dock because of the way the currents go. You have to be a pretty good sailor to actually make it up into there. And so it might be like a pirate cove or a pirate haven because it's so hard to get to. And it's called Nightcrawler Island because it has infestation's the wrong word, but it's home to a great many giant insects. Lots of big creepy crawlies all over the place. And it's also quite mountainous with lots of rivers and lots of forests. So quite jungly, quite mountainous, lots of big bugs. Alba Island is, it seems fine from the outside, but when people attend it, weird memory things happen. And yeah, that's what you got. The next one over, there's not much of an island left. Apparently there used to be an island there, but it's actually now just a little, tiny little rocks that stick up, not enough room for any civilization to happen anywhere nearby. And then the next island over where the next inertial actuator would be is a desert. Has been like damaged and destroyed, but it's also like lifted up on cliffs. It's kind of like a mesa. And that has been wiped of life in some ancient battle some long time ago.
Great. I'll look to Vi and Gary and say, you'll be key people accompanying me. Do you have any questions about these islands as well?
What was the no memory island? I don't have a memory of it.
Yeah.
I don't have a question, but I've been doing some thinking of my own. And I was wondering, the Deadlands, and you've got the Fountain of Youth. And the Deadlands all sucking the life out of the world. And the Fountain of Youth is putting it back in, right? Isn't that suspicious?
Yeah, speaking of Fountain of Youth, do these wizards know of a Fountain of Youth?
Yes, the Fountain of Youth is known to exist. It is owned by the White Prince, who sits at the very center of the Dardennes. If we take a look down and down and down and down, this, let me actually just drag us to it. This island right here is the center of the White Prince's empire. It's the center of the Dardennes. This mountain right here is where the White Prince lives. And up on that mountain, which used to be the heart of the Farron Empire. That island itself used to be the central city of the Farron Empire, is where the White Prince lives, and that's where the Fountain of Youth is. And the White Prince has ruled this area, despite being human, for many generations, because he's got a Fountain of Youth to keep him happy, healthy, and in power. He's rumored to be like a level 16 to level 20 cleric of Astaire, the god of order. And yeah, he keeps an order on everything. He's also somewhat of a authoritarian, being alive for so long and being so order focused. It's known that he employs a great number of clerics and wizards who read the thoughts, who like patrol city streets and listen into people's thoughts to look for, what's the word for dissenters? Yeah. Terrorists, people who are not aligned with the party's values. He also recruits children who have potential of magic from a young age and, pull them away from their families. Despite being called the White Prince, he's typically viewed by outsiders as a bit of a controlling megalomaniac. Yeah. And not particularly friendly to people who might challenge him.
Okay.
But he does have the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah. Have there been any Dracissian envoys which have went to the White Prince's Island?
Yes, there has been communications, and they've been mostly along the lines of, hello, we are in the Dardennes. We are here to fight the Vosi Empire. We're not here to mess up any of your stuff. We might capture some of these outer islands that you're not using right now in order to better fight the empire that you and I both oppose. So please, White Prince, leave us in peace while we go fight off these things. And the answer from the White Prince has been generally like, I'm busy fighting off this dragon who's sinking my ships. And when that is dealt with, I will reclaim the outer islands from anyone who holds them. So by the time I get there, you had better be gone. And Drekis is like, we're not here to conquer your islands. We're just fighting these other people in your territory. And there's sort of like a peaceful, we don't need to battle each other right now, but let's stay out of each other's way agreement.
Okay, great. Any truth to the idea that the White Prince will confiscate all of your magical items?
We did not send any magical items down there because we were concerned about that possibility. We did not want to test those waters or rock that boat.
Wise.
Yeah. Don't need to make more enemies than we have right now. But if you head that way, I wouldn't bring the necklace that you've got.
Of course.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else?
Okay.
Yeah.
I did an int check, just like these 5 days trying to learn how to read a little bit. I imagine like we did one lesson and I know a couple of letters. I'm trying to do words, and paper and ink's expensive. So maybe I'm outside just drawing in the dirt, and like it's a 12, so it's bad. So I can't spell cat. So maybe I keep spelling cat TAC, and I'm just like, that's not it. I keep scratching it out. Tac, cat, ACT, I keep scratching it out.
I'm pretty sure it has 2 T's.
Yes. Thank you. CATT. Yes.
Yes, you.
I let Via know that spelling is not that important, and spelling cat with a KAT is perfectly acceptable.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you.
You can get yourself a little wax tablet that folds
nice.
up in a little book with a little stylus that you can practice your lettering. There we go. And then
perfect.
erase it. This is similar to how people of old used to keep tablets. And since it is getting on towards the end of the year, but you're in a warm place, it's not too hard to write with. In the wintertime, the clay or wax that you might use gets very firm and hard. And during the summertime, it gets very soft, and it's more easy for your writings to smear or not hold very well. It's always fun to remember that everything, even writing, used to be so much harder.
Do I have to pick that up at port, or is there one available here I can buy?
I think since you are helping out these wizards so much, they will give you one of their spare writing tablets. They have a nice heavy supply of things.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, party, I think that's all the lore that you're going to get from here, unless you have some clever ideas to extract more information. But that's all I can give you right now. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
This has been very enlightening. If there happened to be, let's see, a wizard who is interested in joining us from this area, then that'd be great. But if not, then we'll move on.
If not is our answer here. We can move on.
Yeah.
All right. The last
Okay.
thing to tell you is as you move on, as you leave this mountain tower and head back towards Port Julia.
Yeah, on the same day as a patrol there, hopefully, ideally. But if not, let me know.
Yeah, let's see. You went one that took you.
Gary would probably count as having several days rest here, yeah?
Yes. Gary will have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more days of rest here, and then so that'll be another 15 HP. And on the 6th day, on the 10th of November, we head back to Port Julia. But it's also on this day that the comets are no longer in the sky. You didn't look at the sky. You didn't happen to be looking at the sky when they vanished. But by the time you get back out of the mountain and start heading down, they are gone. The gods have either landed somewhere in the world or have abandoned their plans and turned back to the heavens. That's it.
Fascinating.
Yep. Cool. Party gets back to Port Julia 2 days later. And you've got your boat. You got your drunken, one-legged pirate captain friend lying around waiting for you. What would you like to do?
Well, in short, I think I'm having a hard time grasping the distance between islands. To go from island to island in general, how many days boat travel is that?
Excellent question. Let me pull up my notes.
Am I good to buy a barrel of beer?
If you have the money, you can absolutely buy a barrel of beer. Yes.
And a donkey?
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to
Is there a
strap
black
it to the boat.
There is a
What kind
smith
of
who can punch a hole in a coin for you. Yes.
Okay, punch it right in the middle, and then I find like a thin strip of hide, or maybe I buy like a string or something and make a necklace out of it.
Perfect. This is out of a gold coin?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please shell out 2 copper for materials and labor. The distance between each island is roughly 50 miles. So if you are going with the current, you can do an island in a day. If you want to do 2 islands and you left very, very early and you did good on your seafaring check, you could do 2 islands in a day. If you want to go the other direction against the current, it is... Your boat goes at like, what? 24... Yeah, it would probably take you 2 days to go against the current in the other direction.
Okay, and the current is currently clockwise.
Yes. Clockwise and ever so slightly inward.
Okay. To my knowledge, there's like a general Drakissian chasing counterclockwise going right now.
Yes. Oh, wait, did I say clockwise? The currents are all clockwise, and the Drakissi, yeah, everyone is going clockwise right now. Everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, so they're coming from... Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think the overall plan for the next 4 islands is to spend half a day getting to the island and then do a boat circle around while carefully looking at the island to see if any memories pop up, but there's not necessarily a need to land there if there are no such memories.
Okay. Just for the next 4, just for Kolrogia, Channel Islands, Bitterwater, and Nightcrawler?
Correct.
Okay, well, barrel of beer required, coin hole necklace acquired. Our party sets out, and 4 days later, as Astaire, the god of order, peaks in the night sky, you have finished your 4 islands. You have no triggered memories from any of these whatsoever. Yeah.
Cool. While are Alba and Nightcrawler very close to each other as per the map, or is that just a map imprecision?
That is a map in precision.
Got it.
Yes.
Well then, after a nice day's rest at Nightcrawler, we'll do the same to Alba Island.
Now, earlier you mentioned these islands in particular. What is your understanding of these places?
When we first got to the first island of
Mm-hmm.
Flotsam, I don't quite remember why I marked down these particular ones, but apparently I had thought that there would be memories there. By specific name, and I can't remember if there was a specific memory that told me about them, but that must have been how I got those specific names. It's either that or Wiley just happened to mention those specific islands.
I think that might have been it. As you sail around Alba on the next day, making your way around it, there's no I need you to make me an intelligence check, please, Vincent.
Sure.
22 is a success. You know how we've talked about you've got this one memory that kind of gets triggered by the smell of seawater, of drowning, right? It's a frustrating one. It hits hard, and you're starting to get used to being able to control it, but it pops up all the time. With your 22 on your int check, you notice as you go round Alba Island, that memory feels more distant. That memory feels like just a little bit easier to avoid, which is an oddity because it's always around when you're on boats. It's a frustrating horror show that you unfortunately have to deal with from time to time. And here on Alba Island, it barely surfaces, and it's much, much easier to push away. You get a sense of relief from this thing, and that's odd. But that's the only clear memory-related activity happening here. There are 2 small towns on the island. One on the east coast and one on the west coast.
I'll ask Gary and Vaya, do you have any interest in visiting these towns on Alba Island, or should we continue onward to the actuator?
Unless you have a specific idea, I've no interest at all.
This island does seem like the type to just be very terrible and have us possibly die and or forget everything.
You know, if we weren't here doing this, we'd be doing something else, and that something else could be enjoying the scenery of the mountains. But we could probably just skip it for now.
Yeah, I don't see any real reason to risk my neck in this haunted, accursed island. But Neal said something that reminded me of. Was there any... did I learn anything about the memory stone in the books that I was reading or talking with the wizards about?
So the memory stone was created by a woman named Celestria the Golden, who was an apprentice to His Greatness Ferris of the Farron Empire.
Cool.
Does that track with anything that you know at this point in time?
I remember that there was someone that I called the lecturer, and that seems like the writings inside that tower would have been something the lecturer would have written, something about responsibility and all that.
Yes, and those same writings mention that Celestria created this. So whether that is someone writing in the first person or talking about a previous owner is up to you to decide.
It also connects with some previous memory where Celestria defended a fortress. I believe it was the Pirate Cove, perhaps, from dragons.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, you do have a memory of someone defending that, which you can revisit. Now, that memory, that person coincides with... with quite a few things. I don't know if I can recap every memory that you've had right now and tell you which ones are which, but that's the same person who watched the top of the mountain in Solstice lift up, and then a few minutes later had a memory of that mountain crashing into the sea. That woman who holds that memory is the one identified as Celestria.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
But you know that because
Places.
someone said in that memory, I told you, Celestria, it would work. Yeah. Short man. Sorry, what were we going to say, Vaya?
Shortly before it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay.
Can we take a look at the blown up island? I'm just curious.
This one?
Ah, the one right before.
This one.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe you'll remember it being blown up or something.
Maybe?
Yeah. As we sail past that island on the next day, this nameless place you do see coming from the waters here, it's just a series of little spikes. They might be 1,000 feet across and 100 feet high. Some of them look more like atolls that sort of just barely sit out of the water a little bit. There's some shallows in here as well. You most certainly do retain a memory, one that springs to mind.
As the memory rushes to me, I can't help but think right before, Gary's always right.
Of course.
You're on a boat. Around you are a dozen other vessels. Their flags snapping in the wind, but they're all holding still in the water. Like you can see the water moving past them, but the boats are holding steady. Immediately, you, Vincent Mapper, will recognize there are 3 vessels in the boat surrounding the one that you're standing on in your memory that look exactly like the boat that you're on presently. Like practically exactly. Maybe slightly different models, but the same little single-masted vessel that you are sitting on that is slightly magically powered and shape-shifting and whatnot. There's 3 of them in this.
As if they were mass-produced.
Yeah. And out in front of you is an island, a rocky, mountainous island that is just beginning, like the whole thing is sort of sinking down and then tilting on its side, and then it shifts slightly and begins to sink and tilt down again. It's a long memory. You'll be sitting with it for, if you would like to, at least an hour. And during this process of this island sinking, there's like applause and cheering and music coming from the various boats around you. There's like these rhythmic drums that are banging, and people come up to you in turn. Like you can see little vessels going between the boats, shuffling people around, and the various captains of these other vessels each come up to shake your hand and congratulate you on another great victory. They refer to you as my Lord Ishtar or Ishtar, or Ishtar the Great, or Ishtar the Inheritor. And in turn, they will congratulate you for destroying the first stronghold of their enemies.
Cool. I pay a lot of attention as I'm, throughout the hour as I'm shaking everyone's hands and whatnot to burn into my own memory what Ishtar looks like if I were to be as Ishtar. And in the future, when I seem to be Ishtar, I'd like to just know when I'm Ishtar.
Right, because you get to see your hand shake out, and there's a tone to the voice. You had memories of Ishtar before. He went into Port Augustus, and there were like the cheering masses around him in Port Augustus, and the prisoners lined up in the streets with guards over them. That was Ishtar, definitely. Yeah.
I try to piece together through any sort of context if Ishtar has ever been referred to as a wizard or if he's just a powerful fighter, warrior.
I don't think you have a clear answer to that right now. That, unless you've come up with it on your own, but not by the context of this conversation.
Okay, I kind of look down at my clothing. Well, not I look down. Throughout the memories, I see if the clothing I wore is that of a wizard's or a warrior's, or if I'm carrying a spell book or something.
Yeah, you get to see your right hand as it shakes the hands of the people around you. And you can hear your voice, which is definitely masculine. You seem to be a human by the shape of your hands. You seem to be male, and you do seem to have something with a black sleeve with like a silver design around the edge of it. It's hard to tell whether that's like wizard's robes or just sort of like a long sleeve out, but there's wind and sun beating down on you. It's not particularly the weather that you would want to be wearing like heavy robes in, but you don't have any memories of being uncomfortable. You actually feel just fine in the beating wind and the humidity of the sea as these various folks come up. But like everyone else around you, especially all the sailors, are wearing really thin, light clothing to help them stay cool in the hot and humid environment. But you, very comfortable wearing long, thick sleeves.
Ishtar the Evoker was referred to once from the Deadlands guy. That would be a wizard, I would imagine.
That sounds like a wizard to me.
Okay. Great. This is one of those 1 hour memories where I'm able to like communicate with people in real time while I'm experiencing the memory, right?
Yeah, you can say a few words, but a full conversation would interrupt your memory.
Yeah, during the time I just briefly comment, Gary, you were right again. And as I looks like this one's a long one, and I experience the memory. I tell them all about it, as well as, in general, I tell the crew all about my memories after experiencing them.
Well,
because more heads are better than one.
if they sunk the whole fortress or stronghold or whatever it was at once, surely everything's still there unless the fish took it.
It's true. It's possible that there are treasures that lie under the sea here, as well as to the northeast of Summerland, where that tower just fell into the water. But
I got my fishing rod. We could do trawling, maybe? I don't know.
I would imagine. There definitely could be very valuable things down there. Hard to... Do we have a general sense of what the depth of water is near these islands?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, we're all pretty good sailors here, right? We could go right in there and... It must be years since anyone's poked about here. The last people probably got shipwrecked.
Did you want to dive down and look around?
I'm a pretty good swimmer. I could do it if you like. And also, it's just kind of neat.
I can't swim. I'm going to stay here. But in my little clay tablet, I write Cap and then Gare, and I put 0 under Cap and 1 under Gary. So it's 0 to 1. Gary's always right. And then I erase it.
You know, I wonder if you were to cast that really strong spell on me, if I'd be even better at swimming.
What's
Probably. Sure. Why don't you poke down a little bit there and see what you can find, Gary? And I'll cast Strength and... well, just Strength on you.
Yeah, let's sail in a bit closer. Carefully.
Ooh, give me 1d8 points of strength. And how long is your breathing underwater spell last for? Or are you just going in, just holding your breath like a normal person?
I don't have a breathing underwater spell.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Gary, you're
breathing
just
underwater.
You're just like
Going
free
for a
diving.
swim. Yeah. I'm gonna take off all my clothes apart from my, actually probably all my clothes.
Should we tie a rope around you?
Yeah.
Or that just
no.
limit your movement?
No,
Okay.
No. You'll see he has a massive statue to Velthara on his back.
Goddess of Vengeance.
Yeah. Which he doesn't explain. But he'll take his trident, he'll take his net, and maybe not his net actually, just the trident. Actually, trident and net. Can he swim with the trident and net? Is that reasonable?
Yes, but I think deploying your net underwater is exceedingly difficult, and it definitely cannot be thrown.
Okay.
If you just wanted to put stuff in it, that would be fine.
Yeah. This is what I'm thinking.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. We're not talking like the weighted net with the metal on it that you toss on a person. We're just talking like a little net.
Oh, it was his combat net. I'll just take a sack. I'll take a sack as from the boat.
Because the combat net has weights, which would slow you down.
Yeah. So I'll basically free dive with a sack and a trident, and just go have a look about, see if there's anything obvious.
All right, Gary, buddy, old
Bollock
pal.
naked.
I need you to make me a die roll here. You need to make me a D100. Now, I don't know if you want high or low. I don't know if you want to find something or if finding something is bad for you. But I do need the D100 from you. And I also need a 50 right in the middle. I need to know how much time you're spending. Like, are you going all the way around this thing, diving in multiple places, or are you just doing a quick little divey-roo?
It depends. If I see signs of construction, I'd come back up, tell them. And just be like, there's definitely something down there. It's just an investigation to see if there's any unnaturalness. I don't really... It depends how much everyone else wants to spend looking.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of frequent surfacing since you're just holding your breath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's, every 60 seconds I'm coming back and yelling at them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's spend 5 minutes at first.
Now, the first thing is you lovely people in the boat, you can keep your boat pointed up the current and with the slight magical propulsion from your boat, not get carried too far while you wait for Gary. But you'll notice that Gary is inevitably getting carried by the current. And so at some point you'll probably have to like pick him up and move him back closer to this sunken island area. Because the current just keeps sweeping poor Gare. Mr. Gary, 2 machetes. Currently with 0 machetes, but a trident. The earth and rock and coral under the surface is bright with life. Eelgrass, kelp, seaweed, corals, large fish, small fish, eels, octopi, all sorts of creatures inhabit these shallow, rocky waters that are rich in nutrients and minerals. If scuba diving was a sport, this would be a great place for it. Maybe the music should be less ominous. It's fine. It's fine. It's a happy, fun underwater location. Do we have happy, fun underwater music? That's exactly what we need.
There's got to be a song called Sirens.
Yeah, I think this is the best we can do for happy underwater music. Yeah.
Sirai.
I don't know these. It's fine. Yeah. There's happy fish everywhere. There's definitely probably a lot to this place. In the clear, when the water is clear, you can see that the mountain descends quite a bit, and that the life continues to go down these areas. And there's multiple peaks, and so there's multiple like shallow spots, and there's spots in between that get kind of deep, and there appears to be a lot of life in and around them. You rolled a 50 on your interesting check, so nothing terrible, nothing great. But definitely lots and lots of life.
They're like petrified trees, or maybe not petrified, that's the wrong word, but you know, or is it all gone? I guess it was like 2,000 years ago or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There ain't no trees to be found.
Worked stone, anything like that?
Not from your shallow dives where you come up for air every 60 seconds or so. If you'd like to take your life in your hands and swim down deep enough that you might need to make a constitution check to see if you can get back to the surface in time, I'd be more than happy to reveal what you could find lower. But
if you do that, please take a rope, and then if you fail your check, we can pull you up or help you ascend faster.
Gary isn't a fool. He's just curious. He'll come back up. Looks like really beautiful, plenty of fish. Can get some octopus if you want. But nothing obvious.
Yeah, get one for dinner. We'll roast it, not on the deck of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could just fish one up, but if you want to stab one with your trident, go for it.
There's plenty of fresh food to be found here with your fishing pole or your trident. There's no need to roll for it. There's lots to be found here.
Eating good.
Yeah.
Baya.
Mm-hmm.
Will you make me a perception check, please?
Can the one I rolled 20 minutes ago that I never talked about count? Because I got a nat 20.
I see that. That has no bearing. I was wondering what that was for, but no.
Just like when he was in the memory, I was just watching out for anything that was happening.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Okay, this one's good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Natural 16 modified 30. Well, Gary is doing some fishing, and Vincent is taking some notes or remembering something, and Wiley is telling a story to nobody in particular. You find yourself looking over the side of the vessel, and you see in the waters beneath you a known creature, a known entity that inhabits the seas. It is a rather large fishman-style creature known as a Sahugwin. They are generally considered to be evil, sentient, fish-like humanoids that wield spears, have big fins that are tipped with poisonous spikes. They're fairly intelligent, probably not as smart as you, but they do live in schools and dwell under the waves. And
have we made eye contact?
You know when you're looking in water, but then like it's not, and then you put your finger in the water, but your finger's in a different spot than you anticipated it to be. So like looking through the water, like the water layer.
Refraction.
Yeah, it makes it hard to know exactly where things are. So you see the weird fish thing, but the fish eyes don't quite work like human eyes. And so like you have seen it. Has it seen you? You can't tell. There's not quite an eye locking.
Okay, Captain, Sarah Quinn. I know the name, right? Like this is modern. Yeah, I'd say, Captain, we got some bad news coming.
Yeah, I should call it Gary. Come on board. We don't really want to mess with the local wildlife, local creatures.
I've almost got one.
No,
damn
Gary,
it.
now.
All right. What's the problem? I'll swim back towards the boat.
Mm-hmm.
We're under attack. We could be under attack by the goblins of the sea.
Goblins of the sea?
Yeah.
Really like that.
Let's get out of here.
Wouldn't it know everything about what's under the sea?
It's
Yeah,
not
they
even as
probably
intelligent.
collect the shiny things. They're like goblins.
No.
But there's
Do I
all
make it
this.
back?
There's all these language issues. There's the. Who knows if they have a gigantic tribe here?
All right.
If they destroyed an island, who knows if there's even any magical items that survived over the centuries that this island has been buried under the sea? It would be like searching for a needle in an ocean.
Is it easy to destroy magic items, Captain?
It's not very easy, but who knows where it would be. It would probably have been collected by the Sahugwin.
Yeah. And the ocean's not an easy place.
Yeah.
I'll climb up the netting without an octopus. If I get there.
Yeah. They're not coming after you. Via spots them from a distance, and you manage to make your way back on the boat. It sounds like you want to leave these creatures alone. No attempt to kidnap and interrogate.
I mean, I think we should, but...
We should kill them? Interrogate them?
Well, you told me about your magics. I'm pretty sure, can't you talk to anything?
I could, but...
I mean, we
could.
couldn't... Yeah, fair. We couldn't go down there and do anything unless, we took a barrel of air with us or something.
Wizards are famously bad at fighting in water.
This is true.
Sorry, I'm wasting our time. I'll get back on the boat. Let me dry off. And you'll just jiggle in place.
Well, we'll enjoy your catch of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. We leave these creatures behind, and the next day we set forth for the next island. It's not labeled on the map that you have, but when you were talking about it, the one that you've labeled as Actuator, its name is Abax, A-B-A-X, Abax Island. And almost as soon as it really comes into view, like once the mists on the ocean clear on this cloudy and dark day, and you start to get close enough to make out the definitive shape of this island, you are hit with a memory. one of being in a boat, pulling up to a wall, and sliding a long poker into a hole, which then makes a wall disappear, and you can float gently and safely inside a small little lair.
Cool. This comes up as are we near a cove?
You can yes. The cove is clearly apparent. That is what is triggering our memory. There it is, right on the southern side as you're sailing by. The cove
Very
looks
nice. So,
a little different. The top of it is like ruined right now. It looks just like a desert up there. In your memory, there's like big, thick forests and vines that crawl down the sides of the mountain, of the hill, the coast, the cliffs. Cliffs are the word I'm looking for. But when you're looking at it now, it's just out of the fog are these rising cliffs that are then just like deserty and sandy above with no more life upon them.
all right, stand at the ready. The last time we went into one of these lairs, it had been taken over by a ton of creepy crawlies. Who knows what's in this one?
I'll put
Wait,
my
no, that
armor
one
on.
was the pirates. Now that I think about pirates, but who knows what's in this one? Let's sail on in.
You don your armor. The vessel goes forward. We're going to go to a break, and we'll come back on the other side with a little more. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Voyages of Dusk and Dawn. You approach the cove.
I will put a lantern on the front of the ship.
Mm.
I assume it's got a thing you can hang a lantern on or something.
Of course.
No.
And I'll light one for myself.
Can we see? Are we in the cove in its entirety? Is there no more water?
You have come up to the cove, and as you gaze around at the rocks on the walls, you can see certainly that this is the cove, that this is where the magic exists. That there, as you gather around, you see a hole. There's some rocks and debris that's fallen into it, but certainly this is the hole that long rod had been poked into that opened the secret doorway. Yeah, this is it. You're here.
Yes. I rummage around my stuff to see if I have a rod like that. I use my dart.
Yeah, you use your dart. It's a little big. You find a stick. You sharpen it so it will fit. It takes a few minutes. I don't think it's a problem to get something to stick down in this long hole. And sure enough, as you poke on through, the wall beside you fades from view, and there's a narrow little channel that a small boat could barely squeeze through to enter into this area.
Great. Now that I think back about my memories, does it seem like it's designed for this boat to squeeze into it?
Yeah, maybe. You look in, you check the memories. You think your boat could squeeze in through here, but you'd have to probably compact it and turn it around and then reopen it to get back out. It's definitely not large enough to turn the boat around.
Okay.
That might be a little dangerous.
Got it. Well, we sail on in.
All right. It's dark, but you have set a lantern on the edge of the ship. So let's do like, what, 20 and 60 or something like that. And is this right? Within the area, the water curves around a little area. There's a large stalactite holding, or actually a pillar rising up to the ceiling, and a dirty ledge that just, it's right about the right height for a boat to pull up to and step off of.
Fantastic. How convenient. These old wizards thought of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, shall I secure us?
Yes, please.
I'll jump out and with a lantern in one hand and machete.
Yeah, you pull up right next to the coastal section that is perfect for you to land on. It's not onto the back. Awkward. And as you do so, good old Gary Two Machetes, I need you to make me a roll of a d10. Because not is as peaceful as the music would lead you to believe. Not is as happy. That's a surprise. You are surprised by what is coming your way, Gary.
Nice.
And here I was about to make a statement about watch out for those Sahugwin here.
It's not the Sahagwin that you need to worry about.
Phew, thank goodness.
A yellowish, gray, and rough. What do we call these things? Rope stretches out across the cavern, reaching, something like, 50 feet in your direction, snagging you. Maybe it actually needs to make a roll to hit. What's your AC, Gary?
Without Dex, it would be 13.
That's not great. Yeah, it definitely hits you. Let us go to a map.
Oh no.
We're going to bring this up over here. Zoom out a little bit. Yes. So here's our little boat. There's the people on the boat. I'm moving it over here because the Z indexing is bad. But Gary, from across the way, what looked to just be like a rock or a lump or a boulder reveals itself to be a malevolent creature that has lashed out and grabbed hold of you with an attack. There is now just a pure rope strand stretching these many feet from it to you. And that happens on the surprise round. So that's that round, everybody. We should roll initiative for combat. Declare your actions, pick your fates. Know that you're all on a boat right now, even if the tokens are standing in the middle of the water.
Does it look like stone? Heavily armored?
It is about 9 feet tall, and it's sort of pyramidal shaped. It when you first were gazing in here, it just looked like there was an odd rock, maybe like a column that had broken off, and so it was just the stalagmite on the bottom remaining. But once it sort of like reached out and grabbed at Gary with one of its many tentacles, strong sticky strands. It's got 6 tentacle arms, and it looks somewhat like this. Has a big mouth full of sharp teeth, a singular eye in the center of it that has like fully opened now, and the whole mass of it seems to be like slightly moving and undulating. I guess it's 9 feet tall, so it should be a large-sized creature. There we go. Does that answer your questions?
It sure does.
All right.
Yeah.
Vaya, you've rolled the 17 for initiative. Excellent. The first to act is Vincent. What do you got for us, Vincent?
Sweet. I unleash my magic missiles on this thing that I fear might have a very high armor.
Yes.
So that's just 3d4 plus 3 if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
Phew.
That'll do it. 10 points of damage. Very nice. Your 3 magic missiles pierce the roper in many different spots. It quivers, it weakens, it leaks a yellow fluid from its sides, and it makes a noise in response to the damage. It will take its turn.
Wary of the many tentacles it has, I try to take some cover behind a mast or something.
Yep, that's a good idea. You can take cover behind the singular mast. Gary, it's your turn, and you're going to get pulled. I'm sorry, it's the roper's turn, and you're going to get pulled 10 feet closer to it, which unfortunately means you're getting dragged across the water and sort of like get yoinked off your feet and poof, splash in the water near this column. This sticky strand has sort of like hit you, sort of like a gecko or an iguana's tongue, where it kind of comes out and like splats against you. Not an iguana, but what do you call the guys with the shooting tongues? What are they called?
Chameleon? Some.
The chameleon. Chameleon, yes.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yes, it has grabbed you by the tongue. Go ahead.
Gary's always right.
Now, the roper can shoot 1 strand per round, as far as 50 feet. And so, as it's pulling Gary with one of its strands, it will launch a second strand in the direction of one of the 3 members on the boat. Would each of the 3 people on the boat roll me a d20? I will roll for Wiley. Wiley does not roll particularly well. Wiley rolls the worst out of everybody. The roper shoots a sticky strand in the direction of poor old Wiley. And it will absolutely grab Wiley as well. Wiley, you are now grabbed, my friend. Look. His positioning must have been more convenient. There we go. Gary, 2 machetes. It is your turn. You rolled in with machetes for combat.
Yeah, I assume my lantern's gone out.
You said you were hanging the lantern from the bow of the boat.
Oh, I then said I grabbed one in my left hand as well, so
Ah.
we'd have more than one.
Well, then I imagine you've dropped your lantern on the ground.
Yeah. I'm gonna chop this. Well, because can I chop the rope twice with 2 machetes?
The thing that's grabbing onto you?
Mm,
Yeah, totally.
cool. I shall do so.
Yes, make me attack rolls.
Ah, beautiful.
You freaking did it. I was about to tell you how hard it is to cut these things. Their AC is incredibly high. But you need to do at least 6 points of damage from a single hit of an edged weapon. You do 7 points of damage from a single hit of an edged weapon. No, you don't, because it's not a critical hit.
Oh, it's not a critical.
It's not. You rolled a natural 20, modified 22, but it's not a critical hit. It is just a regular hit.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'll swing with the other machete then. Oops, wrong button.
Oh my god!
Oh.
You hit again with another natural 20. Now on this D8, you've got to roll a 6 or higher.
Nice.
Wow.
Why do I even bother? Okay. There's 2 lanterns. They're shedding a lot of light. Gary, you have severed the ropes. You land in the water right next to this pillar. You have a swimming proficiency, do I understand?
Yep.
And you're wearing your armor.
I am lightly encumbered and wearing armor and
So-
carrying quite a lot of stuff. I'm carrying like 48 pounds of stuff.
I think as soon as you manage to like hack the roper off of you, you begin to sink. But you are also right next to this thing and you've got a swimming proficiency. So with no checks needed, you can make your way to the edge of this thing and cling on to it, or some other action that you would desire, but you can't swim for very long because you will sink. What do you want to do?
Ideally, I would like to kick off this pillar and jump over to there, but I
Yes.
presume I can't do that in one.
Well, I think you can make the 5 feet to the coast over here. You will have to then climb up this cliff, and in doing so, you will have to surrender one of your weapons. Actually, both of your weapons. You'll need both of them to climb if you have a backpack and armor on. How do
I
you
have a
surrender?
spare weapon. I drop both my machetes.
All right. Well, attacking is a half move action, so you can cut yourself free and drop your machetes and pull yourself ashore. Via.
So we're on the boat here. Can I step over onto the land over here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come over here. Can I make it all the way and attack?
I think so. Whoops. Come on.
All right.
55 feet? Yeah. Are you encumbered significantly? Lightly? You're fine. Yeah, you can hurry on over towards the roper, get up to it, and
Can I cut? If I tried to cut Wiley free with this tentacle, would would just be like a normal attack, and it would also do damage to the? Or would it just be cutting it free and not do damage?
It would be cutting the tentacle, but not damaging the main beast. Its hit points are separate from its tentacle's hit points.
And is Wiley in the water right here? So like if I cut him, he's gonna drown.
Wiley's presently on the boat. It's just that when I bring the
Okay.
boat token over, sometimes it covers up people's tokens. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna attack it, I think.
Yeah, who needs Captain Wiley?
Yeah.
Roll me to hit with your big ass glaive.
Oh.
15 is not good enough. Your glaive definitely strikes the side of this creature, but it's got this like really thick, rubbery, goopy, slippery, sticky hide that as the blade hits it, just sort of like rounds off of it in a way that sort of is uncomfortable.
But no damage. Like I can't. The glaive doesn't look damaged. The blade looks good.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Wiley gets his turn, and all he can do on his turn is try to break free of the ropes. It will require an open doors check, which is a 7 or lower on a 1d20. Wiley rolls a 19. He is grasped by the creature and calls out, "Help me, lads and lasses! Help!" He will roll for initiative. The roper will roll for initiative. Go ahead, party. I know I forgot about a part of this creature's attack rolls, but we're now in the next round. We'll have to do it next time it hits. Initiative with magic sword +1. Oh, that's your backup weapon.
I never gave it back.
Ooh.
Well, I took it, but didn't ask.
Okay, well, Wiley starts off. He's going to attempt another free himself. He needs a 7 or lower. It's a 13. Wiley is stuck. The roper will pull Wiley 10 feet closer, which I guess is just going to go to this square for now. And with its big, hideous mouth, it's just going to make a bite attack against Via. So, Via, what's your AC? 13? Ooh, that's not great. It will bite with a... Oh, that's the wrong roll. It's a 15 to hit, which will hit you. The damage on it is 14 points of damage as its big, sharp teeth sink past your armor, rip into your flesh, and bring you down to 4 hit points.
Awesome.
Gary, 2 machetes.
Can I get around this thing to flank it? Or is it taking up the
No,
whole-
it's taken up the whole hallway. Yeah,
Fair enough. Ooh, I could mechanically charge it, though.
you could. It'd be a +2 to hit.
I will mechanically charge.
Gary runs in.
20.
20
With the
is
+2?
the roll that you need, sir. It has AC 20.
Oh, no.
It is a terrible beast. You do
2 damage.
2 damage to the massive intelligent creature. Vincent.
Yikes. Well, I'll send another volley of magic missiles at it.
Easy. One trick solution. All problems can be solved with magic missile.
Why do all these enemies have such high AC? Oops, wrong one. Wait, yeah, E34.
So close. There we go.
Ooh.
Excellent damage. That brings us to half hit points by the end of the second round. Oh, sorry, not quite the end. Via, I do believe you get 2 attacks this round because you're a glaive specialist.
Oh, nice.
Another natural 20.
Okay.
You absolutely do hit it. You do not crit it because it doesn't clear by 5, but it is a hit for oodles and poodles of damage. The glaive does 2d6 against large.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. I just hit the damage button.
Yeah, I think it's just 2d6 normal. And then that's 2 for, why is it plus 2 damage?
Specialist.
Oh, because you're a specialist, obviously. Duh.
Yeah.
The most obvious, normal, everyday answer. Well, that'll be 10 points to the roper.
And I can't move as like an additional.
Oh yeah, you can
thing,
totally,
right?
you could totally move. But if you step away from the creature,
Oh, yeah.
you do impose an
Yeah,
attack
yeah,
of
yeah.
opportunity.
I'm good. I'm good.
You sure you could take it? It's just a little step.
No. But what is if I wanted to do that safe retreat? Is that plus
That's your-
3 for next time?
Yeah, but it's also your action.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to make an attack. But, you know, Gary's here, so you could step back. And that's the end of our initiative. Let's roll again. How many magic missile spells do you have left, Vincent? Was it just 2 for today?
That was it. Against
no.
such a large enemy, surely throwing darts at it wouldn't have penalties. Question mark?
Oh, you mean for like throwing into combat? For a large
Yeah.
creature, it counts as 3? Counts as 3 sizes, so it'd be 3 out of 5 to hit it.
Okay. Let's roll in with good ol' darts.
Oh boy. Starting us off with Vincent, the dart thrower. Go ahead and throw your darts.
Yep, from atop the ship, I'll take aim and throw a bunch of darts at it. 1, 2.
Oh my
From the
god,
leader.
another natural 20.
And a natural 1. Excellent.
It will hit for 1 damage. Good job. A dart skewers the roper right in the body. It continues to quiver. Its mouth is big. Its yellow eye is turning bloodshot and red as it hisses out its garbled language. Okay.
Yep.
Wiley will attempt once again to break free. And he succeeds. He finally, using his sword arms, manages to like pry the creature off of him, freeing himself from the arm. He plunges into the water, but you know, he's got 2 wooden legs. He's very buoyant, and he stabs with his hands into the cliffside to keep him just floating in the water. Gary, machetes.
It takes an action to grab something out your bag, doesn't it?
Depends
Like a
on what you're
trident,
doing.
for instance.
A trident?
Yeah.
I don't think you can carry a trident in your backpack. They're a little large and long.
Fair enough. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
I swing.
Okay, but hold on now. This is the 4th natural 20.
Wait, let me do it a few more. Here, it's working.
Okay, you hit. You still hit the roper. Please roll me damage.
6.
Oh no. Oh no. You don't have an offhand in this situation.
No, that's why I wanted the trident.
Okay. Well, trident's a 2-handed weapon anyway, right? You could only. He said with hesitation. I don't want to check because Gary's always right, and that would be embarrassing.
In PHB, it's one-handed. In your thing, it's two-handed. So.
It's a one-handed weapon in the player's handbook?
Yeah, because trident and net from a.
Oh, from the Roman gladiators? No, but it's a large weapon, and if you read in here somewhere. Large weapons must require two
my bad.
hands.
My bad.
Yes.
I can't draw anyway. I don't have it. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. The roper goes. Well, it can make one attack per round. It can either rope someone or it can bite someone. And it can only bite people who are next to it, but there are two of you next to it. Vaya is almost dead, so she's the obvious target. Gary's the last one to have hit it. But, you know, it's a smart creature. It's got 15 intelligence. It knows it's better to finish someone.
I rolled an 8 on my initiative.
You did? Oh, it didn't update. Oh, I see. Oh, Vaya.
I might have. Can I do the retreat and move behind Gary?
Yes. That
Okay.
was going to be your action? Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Well, that simplifies things quite a bit. The roper has little opportunity but to attack Gary. It cannot make in this move. It is too large to move past Gary. The roper will bite you, Gary. It should not be plus 18 to hit. That is too high. It's only plus 9 to hit. But 15 plus 9 is still a hit, and you will take 13 points of damage. Dropping you to 11 hit points. Very unfortunate. I think it has no other options, and that's the end of the round. Let's roll initiative.
Here's the third dart, which I probably should have rolled in during the round.
Yes. Thank you for the attack roll. It is a miss, unfortunately.
Okay. I sigh as I look at how my party's doing. Can I see past the roper? Like, as in to cast a spell past it?
Yeah, whatever your token can. Yes, because it's the passageway is tall enough that you could see behind it. I think you could probably see back to here, which is 20 feet from it. Yeah.
Okay. This is gross overkill, but I'd rather not someone else die.
Oh my God. He pulls out a scroll of fireball or a memorized fireball?
Prepared fireball.
All right, Gary with the 6 on initiative.
Die, creature.
Natural 1. Wiley is going to try and make a strength check to climb up this hill. No one else would ever need a strength check, but he only has one leg and knives for hands, so definitely a strength check required. He does it. He pulls himself up onto the ledge. It takes his whole action to climb out of here. The roper goes. It turns its big, sharp, nasty teeth towards Gary. 2 machetes once again. It reaches out. What's your AC, Gary?
16.
16, not 13. So there's a chance that it might miss you. It bites. It's a critical hit.
Rolls really well. Okay.
Oh my god.
It's a critical hit. It'll bite you for 12 plus. Did we just roll another 5d4
I'm about to
damage?
die.
I think we just roll another 5d4 damage. Gary, it was so nice knowing you. The roper opens its mouth. It crits you with a bite. It'll do a total of 24 damage. You are at 11.
Yeah, I'm dead.
It brings you into its mouth, and Gary is consumed, bitten and chewed and swallowed by the roper. Gary is no
Gary, no.
more.
Arr.
Vincent, is it still overkill?
No. Slightly too late. My mind's frazzled as I launch a fireball behind it to only engulf the roper.
If only you had cast Fireball first and Magic Missile second. Oh no!
If only. I think it gets to roll a save of some sort.
Yes, it gets to roll a saving throw versus spell. It fails. You do 30 damage to the roper. You could have saved Gary's life if you had rolled it sooner. If you had started with the big damage, but no. The roper burns, it bristles, it boils, and it dies.
Well, I rolled 5d7 instead of 5d6, but maybe you'll call it good enough.
You only rolled 1 7 in there, so you can re-roll one of the 6s, but it's fine. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's still incredibly high damage for a fireball. Well done.
That was a very high fireball.
Yeah. The battle ends. The roper dies. Gary's left foot hangs out of the roper's mouth. It twitches a few more times as Gary...
Gary, no!
You hear a muffled GG.
No. Is there a +1 sword on the ground?
There's a +1 sword inside the creature.
Ah! I'll reach inside and grab it.
You push open the mouth that's like charred and burned. It splits the whole creature. Like the mouth opens way too far around, practically splitting the creature in two. And you can dig around past Gary's body and pull out the magic sword covered in filth and goo as the creature's jaws twitch as it dies. Mr.
And a pouch of gold. And the pouch of gold. No, okay, just the sword.
Well, you can pull the whole body out and loot everything off of Gary. Gary, how does it feel as you wake up on a beach, knowing that Vaya is probably violating your body at this point?
So Gary will look around at the beach. He'll say, "Oh, bugger, not again." And he'll turn round to the ocean, and he'll say, "Maybe it'll be a crocodile this time." And he'll dive off into the ocean and swim away and disappear.
Woo!
It's quick. It's over fast. Gary is gone.
Rip.
Big rip.
I don't like it.
GG.
Well, GG, Gary.
It was fun.
It's been fun having you. Thank you for being a part of this unusual game style. I know being a henchman or a hireling is an unusual position for a D&D campaign. I hope it wasn't terrible following along Vincent's orders. And you did save the day multiple times, so congratulations.
No, it was good fun. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
And thanks to all my other players.
You were
I will
awesome.
fade away.
All right, we're going to take a quick break while we kick Gary out of the game, and then we'll come back and figure out what's in here. We'll see you guys on. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the game. Gary is dead. Wiley comes over to the body, takes a good look at it, bows his head in respect and silence, lets you know there ain't nothing you could do for the lad at this point. I'll be sure to move his belongings back on the boat while the two of you investigate the rest of this, just in case there's any more of them there ropers.
Before Wiley does anything, I hand the gold to Captain so Wiley can't get to it. And I pick up the +1 sword and I say, "Hey, Captain, I've got some proficiencies I just haven't really trained. Can I start practicing with a sword and then use this one?"
Yes, Faya, that would be wise.
And then I take the sheath, or whatever sheath Gary was using, and I use that. It probably has monster saliva and grossness on it.
And Wiley, I'm afraid it'll be a bit too dangerous to continue forward. We're going to beat a hasty retreat to the nearest town, perhaps where we can refresh our crew.
But we're right here, Captain. It's just down the road. There's treasure awaiting. Look, a monster like this, guarding a lair like this. Yeah, nothing probably has gotten past it in 1,000 years. There could be gold glittering down there.
Do you want to do the honors, Wiley?
He is going to make a wisdom check. If he passes, he stands back. If he fails, he goes forward. He passes with flying colors. You know, I would, but my leg, Captain.
Oh, look at Vaya. She's been bitten clean in almost half. And Well, I'd rather not get grabbed by one of those if there's another one. We'll be back here soon enough.
Okay, then.
For now, we retreat and lick our wounds.
Well, I guess we didn't need to go to break then, because that's going to be it for the session. Congratulations on surviving. Yes?
Are we just ending up in the boat, or are we back at a port?
You know what? That's a great question, Via. Fantastic question. Here is our big old map of the area. Where would you like to go, Vincent, to find some new recruits?
Wiley, you know the area well. Where can I hire a few capable fighters?
Well, Wiley will tell you that he once worked with a crew that did a whole bunch of stuff down over here in Jamuba, but then you'd have to go backwards against the current quite a ways. It would take many, many days. The closest town is on Alba Island, which has all those weird memory problems. That could be awkward. Let me open my more detailed version of this map. Let's see if... No, I think Rocky Ridge and Hookfin are unsettled. Mostly wild. Yeah, you either got to go all the way down to Jamuba and come back, or you got to go back to Alba or one of those other places. Maybe someone on Nightcrawler. No.
Okay. If I remember right, the reports that I got about Alba is people only started going mad and losing their memories if they went deep into the Alba lands.
Yeah, the stories of the people who go into the mountains are problematic. Yeah, should be fine.
The village should be fine. Let's go to Alba Village.
Okay. We'll set sail for Alba Village, and we'll come back in a couple of weeks, maybe with some new party members, and we'll re-explore that cave, hopefully. And that's going to be it for Voyages of Dusk and Dawn. The entire initial cast who has joined us is gone now.
R.I.P. Much love. They were awesome. They were fantastic.
They did a good job. I do believe the survivors should be awarded some experience points, though. So let's get some XP. Did we get XP for fighting the giants? I don't think so. What were you saying?
Last XP was session 6. I got 1525, okay. So I don't think we got it for the session 7.
Got it. $12.5 damage, 1 attack per round, 10 hit dice, 20 AC, super high intelligence, very low move speed.
20! Oh my god.
And hit dice. This. Wow, my XP formula is giving ropers way less experience than they should be getting. What's going on here? Well, we're just gonna do this. Plus, we discovered this entryway, which is worth... Write this stuff down. Everything must be written down. All right, so Roper. Roper is worth this. A worth 500. All of the research that we did up in Mount Solstice and meeting with all those people is worth a bunch of XP. Mount Solstice. And in a previous session, we had explored the Deadlands, right?
Hi. Killed at least one hand there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost explored the hull.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. No experience for the mountain giants, but then there's been various RP. Also around here. Yeah.
Did we beat 3 wraiths and 1 boss wraith that was crowned?
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Good call.
And the boss wraith, which we're calling it supposedly. Okay. Wow. Maybe if people had survived this encounter, there would have been enough XP for maybe to level up. Let's see. 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 1980 divided by 2. No. That should be 9,900 experience.
Holy.
Well, you only divide it between 2 people. The numbers get quite large. Yeah.
Oh, if only Vaya had also died. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, maybe you are not a good guy, like I was saying. Maybe we will break bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that takes me. Wait, 9,000 divided by 2 or 9,000 each?
No, 9,900 each.
Ooh.
Okay, so plus.
We should just round it off to a nice 10,000. Right?
Could have,
might
but
as
we're
well.
not going to.
That puts me at 15,426. That's got to be a level, right?
Yeah, you were level 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're level 4, and level 5 is at 16,000. So you're only 600 away from level 5.
Nice. Okay.
And Mr. Vincent, you are now at. Oh, you're just doing math over here. I see what's going on.
Yeah, I can see level 7 is 60,000. Did I hit that? I'm really close.
Can I roll for HP?
Yes, please.
I'm close, but not quite.
What would that be? Sorry.
You would roll a d10. Let's see your character sheet. You do not have high con. You have terrible con. You have atrocious I mean, they're fine. Your stats are great.
No, they're bad. They are bad.
They are beautiful. Yeah, 9, 14, 7, 8, 7, 7, 14.
Oh my goodness.
3 7s though. That's
You're
gotta be
so
lucky.
cruel, Koibu. How could you let someone roll such bad stats?
And yet,
It was just down the line for the thrill.
and yet here we are. Please roll me a d10 for hit points and roll high. 4. All right, so your HP will go up to 22 max. We'll give you 1 point on your current, 1 additional point on your current, just because it should all scale
Down.
together. Your level, did we say 4 now? 5 now?
4, because 5 is at 16,000. You said. But either way, I couldn't level twice.
Right. Level 4. So no new saving throws, but I do believe you get a non-weapon proficiency. Nope, that happened at level 3 as well. So it's just HP and a bonus of 1 to hit. So you now have +3 to hit instead of +1. Okay. Great. That's it. We will be back in 2 weeks for some more Voyages of Dusk and Dawn. That'll be... Ooh. That's Halloween Day. That's October 31st.
Everyone knows Koibu goes wild during Halloween.
Yeah, we're going to come back the week after that. November 7th.
I mean, I could do Halloween, but is it about viewership or something? Are you going crazy?
I don't know what my Halloween plans are yet, and
Neal needs to get some candy. Duh.
dude, I've
Absolutely.
had so much candy already. I bought a big pan of candy at the beginning of the month, and we had guests over for just a little house party, and they had some of it, but they opened the seal on the candy bag, and then I proceeded to eat the rest of the candy over the last week. I probably have, the blood sugar of someone who's about to die right now. It's very unhealthy. Yeah, I don't know. I try to do things for Halloween when I can. I don't know what the plans are, so let's just do it the week after. And that'll be that. So thanks, everybody, for coming. We'll see you in the future.